going on. I mean, what's happening? Like, what's up? It's Uncle Larry. The Sagittarius. Born on December the 20th, 1968. In Euclid, Ohio. I think it was. Some hospital there. You know that when my mother was pregnant in the hospital having me, my father was on the floor above her with his third heart attack. Did you know that? I believe those are the facts. This is what I've been told. See, my father had rheumatic fever when he was young, and it weakened his heart. So he lived hard too, boy. And he died of a heart attack when I was like 2 years old. It's funny, I had zero memories of him, literally, but I think of him all the time. I kind of feel like I knew him a little bit because apparently my next oldest brother, Mike, is a carbon copy of him. So I kind of feel like I knew him a little bit, you know. Youngest of 5, he was, the Starship Trooper. A mistake admitted by his mother. One time I said, I was a mistake, wasn't I, Mom? She was like, yeah, we weren't really planning on having another kid. 7 years later than the next oldest sibling. The baby. You guys think I act like the baby of the family? You think I do? Do I exhibit those personality traits? Let's talk about last night's game. Oh man, what a close one. Really, really great game. Uncle Larry's assessment. The Ravens could have won that game 10 times over. Lamar Jackson, the finest running quarterback the game has ever seen, maybe besides Michael Vick. Sadly, cannot hit the broadside of a barn with his passes. If he could, he would be the GOAT of all time. But, Lord, if I was that coach, Harbaugh, I would say, Lamar, honey, all we're going to do all day, I'm going to put a rope on a tree and a tire, and you're going to start throwing balls through that tire. That's what you need. I'm an armchair coach. This is ridiculous for some asshole guitar player to be talking about the NFL. I don't know shit about it. But boy, that boy's got a lot of talent. I've never seen anybody run like that from the quarterback position. Lord Jesus, he's such a dangerous. It's not sustainable. No one can take those kind of hits all game, all season. But Lord, he even his behind the line screen passes are fucking way off the mark. He missed that. The touchdown that should have won the game before the one he missed it by 10 yards. The guy was wide open. You know, Mahomes was just sitting there going, I would have hit that pass. I would have put it right in the numbers. But such is life. You know what I was thinking about? Totally unrelated. Imagine this. If you're struggling in life, I just looked at this the other day. Look at this. 3 albums, right? Vinyls. All made after the age of 50. So, isn't that crazy? Think about it. It took me 50 years to get off my ass and do something. I mean, in the Old West, the life expectancy was 38 years old. So, it's just a little inspiration for you if you're thinking, boy, I'm too old to do this or do that. You can still do it, friends. Had a lovely day yesterday. Like I told you, I was going to see my old friend, and boy, it was not a letdown. We had the time of our lives, man. Did a long all-day session and got to catch up with Mark, my old dear friend, and I hugged him 1,000 times and told him I loved him 1,000 times, and he's just, God, man, one of my favorite humans. And we had a ball catching up, had a few beers at the end of the session, you know, like men do. Chatting about the old Carrie Underwood days. Think about this. Mark was a fairly well-known producer in the early 2000s. Mark Bright is his name. And all of a sudden, this girl named Carrie Underwood wins the American Idol, and she's got 31 million people watching her. And she's going in to make an album, and the record company said, okay, Mark, this better be a hit record. The pressure that was on him, and he delivered. They had tons of hits, but he was just saying, man, the pressure was just unbelievable. I mean, imagine having that being thrown at you. Okay, let's see what you got. Here's your chance. And I just said to him at that time, I was like, man, I never even thought about how much pressure, and I appreciate the fact that he hired me in that moment of pressure. And all those guys, it was a great band we had back in those days. Jimmy Sloas, Chris McHugh. And like, I don't think I could handle that kind of pressure as a producer, honestly. I mean, I like to produce records and everything, but I don't like dealing with record companies. I don't like answering to the man, saying shit like, you better have some hits on this, boy. That'd be tough. That would be tough, man. But he did it, and he delivered. And he was her producer for 10 years. And, a lot of people don't like those records. But, man, they were hit records. You can't deny it. And I want to talk a little bit about this. This is pretty crazy. Okay, this thing, in the brief time that I've owned it, it's a 52 Les Paul, I can already tell in the first 10 sessions I've used it on that this is going to be one of the most valuable recording tools, top 5, that I have ever stumbled upon. I can already tell. I bought this guitar as a joke. I remember how I always say, you can't hunt shit down in this world. You got to let it come to you. Drew was over here from Guitar House, a month ago or something. And he's like, we're walking out the door. He goes, man, I've got this 52 Les Paul back at the shop, and I don't want to go through the trouble of selling it, man. Can I just wholesale it to you for what I got in it? I go, I don't need it, bro. I don't need it. He goes, yeah, I'll give you a good deal on it, man. It's a really cool guitar. I said, oh, God, how much is it? And he's like, okay, it's this. And I'm like, at least I can buy it and flip it for that. So I just bought it. Was not excited about it at all. This thing showed up in the mail. I waited to open the box. I didn't even care. Opened the box, and at first I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool, It's got a cool neck, and it feels pretty cool. I plugged it in for a minute. I said, sounds pretty good. And then I took it to one session, and I immediately noticed that this neck pickup right here is like a showstopper. Like, every time I plug the guitar in and play it, someone will come running out of the room and go, dude, what are you using right now? I was at Blackbird the other day, and I plugged this thing in, played a couple chords on it, and Ilya Tushinsky, the guitar player, got up out of his acoustic chair, came walking in the room and go, what are you playing right now? And I showed him, I go, it's this 52 Les Paul. He goes, my God, dude. Brian Sutton said the same thing. All these producers are like, this thing's amazing, man. Something about this neck pickup is just nuts. And like, it's like so deep and rich. Retro sounding, and it's like, I was saying to Brian Sutton, I said, man, all the coolest guitars I've ever got, when I first start using them in the studio, I kind of have to figure out how to use them. Like, and Brian goes, yeah, the guitar teaches you. You it's something special, but you kind of have to figure out how to harness that and like how to really use that. And I was like, you're right, man. I remember that. I had an old Gretsch like that. I remember the first couple times I used it, I was like, there's something special in this thing. And it took me a minute to figure out how to play it, how to use it. But once I did, it was deadly. And I used it on a million records. And I sold it years ago. But, man, that guitar, I got a lot of miles out of it. And I can tell this is going to be the same thing. This is going to be like a game changer. And in conjunction with, I bought this old 50-watt tremolo plexi a while back. I took it to a session, plugged it in. I didn't really like it. It sounded kind of weird, and I was going to get rid of it. And I took it to Ebo at the last minute and said, man, maybe you could do something with this. It just doesn't sound right. Gave it to him. Didn't have much expectations for it. And I took it to one session and I was just like, fuck, dude. That is it. Through a Bogner 212 cab that I got. And I was like, there it is, man. There's that magic plexi thing that I've had a few times before on a couple of various plexis. And man, that thing sounds damn good. The combination of that with this, holy shit, man. It's like giving me a whole new inspiration. You know, I don't even know how to describe what a really good plexi does on a microphone. It's like, it gives you this thrust, I would say, to the clean notes that there's no fizz. You know, I always talk about the fizz. You know, the fizz is my enemy. You can hear it on people's YouTube channels. That horrible little gristly grizz that's on top of the distortion. That's kind of like, wait, is that coming from you or me? The engineers always say that. It's not a pleasant sound, and I hate it. It's my enemy. You know, the fizz. But those Marshalls have no fizz, man. The notes are so pure, dirty or clean, and that's what I love about them. They're very focused. Like you hit a couple clean notes, and man, these punch out, and there's no question what the fuck you're playing. And they don't all do that. You know, I've had a million plexis, man, and there's a lot of really good ones, and some of them just don't do that. It goes for anything. Just because it is what it is doesn't mean it's going to be a great one. We all know that. You know, I've had 100 of these 52 Les Pauls in my life, probably. This one is so much more unique and special than the other ones I've had. Lord knows why. It won't go out of tune. The neck is perfect. The intonation is perfect with this crazy bridge. You know, I think you guys said it was a Mojo X. Whatever it is, I'm not touching it. I probably won't even change these strings. But it's funny how in life, some of the coolest gear I've ever ended up with is stuff that I kind of wasn't sure about at first. I was like, I can't tell if this is good or bad. I remember I bought an old Neumann U67 years ago, which is a high dollar mic for my studio. And somebody said, man, this is a particularly good 67. And I was like, man, I was excited to hear it. It was a lot of money. Took it home. They're still my favorite mics, of course. Took it home in the session. I remember the first time we plugged it in, I heard somebody sing through it. I was like, man, it sounds pretty good. I don't know. It doesn't blow me away. It sounds good. And then when we started using it, like for real, in the heat of battle, the way that thing would just make a vocal sit in the track and everything, I was just like, okay, I see. I see why these are the best mics ever. I see. You have to let the shit teach you. Like, I can already see that there's many learning hours ahead with this guitar. And then conversely, you'll find that sometimes when you get really excited about a piece of gear and you think it's going to be the total shit and you're really excited about it and you take it to a gig or a session and you're kind of just like, man, I don't know. I can't get it to do the thing that I wish it would do, right? And it's always a disappointment. But I think the moral of this story, if you're slightly perplexed by something, if you don't just hate it, if you're slightly perplexed by it at first, kind of like, man, I don't know if this is good or bad. It's probably good, and you just got to figure out how to work it, right? That's probably what's going on. It's happened with pedals with me, amps, different amps. I realize that all you guys aren't recording every day out there. I know some of this knowledge is lost on you, and it should be, because who gives a fuck? But for those of you out there who record all the time, that's what I'm talking to you on this particular matter. It might be boring to some. Well, hell, most of my videos are boring. But I do appreciate all the kind words about the videos lately, and waxing rhapsodic about the arc of life and all that. Some of these guys said, man, wait till you're even 15 years older than you are now. You'll look back at 55 and think you were a dumbass. Probably so. Probably so, friends. But for now, I'm just going to drink another beer. I got the day off today, and I got a guy coming to fix up the big fireplace down in the living room. They're going to put gas in there and make it real nice so Larry can have nice wood-burning fires all fall and winter in his new living room. These are the kind of things that get me excited these days. A nice fireplace, grill, pool. You see what I'm saying? All right, friends. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.